this is the updated tier list for all units in Omniheroes in Season 6. The first thing you might notice is I moved Gaia to the top tier. That's because she's actually really strong and I've underestimated her a little bit. So her passive can actually increase the damage of your whole team by a lot, by 1000% in total, which is like your team will deal 10 times more damage than before. And that makes her really good in PvE and like the boss fight. So for example, in this game mode, uh, in the end you will need uh, you will need 3 teams, and each teams you need some way to maximize your damage. So one team, so in the past we only have 2 teams. One is a troopers with Dahlia, like it's either a troopers or Cleopatra, and with Dahlia because Dahlia can buff up a troopers and a troopers can share the buff to your whole team. And the second one is the ASA combo or the double pendants combo where you use Astrid to duplicate the ultimate of either a Troopers or Cleopatra. And for the third team, we don't know what to do. This is a bad example because this team is about healing rather than anything else. So let's look at this one. For the third team, what do we do? So for the third team, we can use Gaia to do a lot of damage to the enemy team because as you apply corrode to your enemy teams, your team will gain attack damage. You will gain damage boost that stack up to 1000%, and that is another way to deal maximum damage. So with her help, we can actually kill the boss for all 3 stages. So for all 3 stages, yeah. And so yeah, Gaia is really strong, and she's not useless in PvP. I mean, like she's really strong in PvP as well because she can reduce the speed of all enemies by 30, which basically means your whole team gets to act before the enemy, and that's really impactful. So yeah, she's both really really strong in both PvP and PvE, and that's why I put her in SS tier. Like from I put her in here in the past, and I move her up. And for the other 2 new heroes that are D&D, uh, so Elisha, I think she's still she's still in S plus tier, and yeah, she's pretty much uh, only good with Eudora. I mean, like she's still pretty good without Eudora, but she's only you can you need Eudora to unlock her full potential. But that's actually the freeze is actually pretty critical in some PvE stages. So like because this freeze can stack up. So if you have Eudora and you're against some uh, enemies that is not Glorian, like you will eventually freeze all enemies and they will not take action like forever. Like you can like infinitely freeze them because this freeze can stack. And that's really helpful for your team to survive. Like in this game we have a lot of way to grant Holy Shield, and Holy Shield is one way that your team can survive enemies despite their high damage. But if the enemy teams, like especially in some PvP stages, when they have Lachesis, and she will remove all your buffs, which includes Holy Shield, and that can reduce your team's survivability by a lot. So if we have in those stages, we actually want Elisha. She will help us a lot. Yeah. Anyway, and for Arthur, I also move him up a tier because mostly about the recent update. So in the recent update, they make it so that Arthur can reflect the banish effect from Hope Tree. So you know this Mystifier effect that consume energy to banish an enemy for 4 or 5 rounds. This can has a 50% chance to reflect to the enemy team if your team has author deployed. Uh, it's gonna be 25% at 6 star and 50% chance at 7 star. So I moved author up a tier. Yeah, because he's gonna be really good at least in this season. And so this tier list is gonna be about this season because in the past I feel like I want to make a tier list that reflect the future projection of this of the heroes. And now I realize that's kind of weird because I'm gonna update the tier list in next season anyway, so I'm gonna mainly focus on how good they are in this season. So that's why you see I move all the Glorian heroes, even the bad ones, move them up. Because in this season, the Glorian synergy is really important because the Glorian Hope Tree effect is very strong, especially after the update. Because after the update, all the energy generation method are nerfed because you can only generate at most 100 energy each round. But the Hope Tree effect of the Glorian synergy doesn't require any energy. As you can see, it doesn't say consume X amount of energy or when energy reaches some point. So it doesn't require any energy, which means Glorian synergy is even better than before. And that's why all the Glorian heroes are moved up in the tier list. As for the Light Seeker new hero, Diao Chan, I think I overestimated her a lot. So I remember she was in S plus tier or S tier, but I don't think she belonged there. It's mostly because her ability is really hard to trigger and it requires like team building cost. Like you need to have enchanter with her and as well as the or like you want to build her in a 5 Avenger and some Phantom team for her to revive. And at that point is not really worth it. So yeah, she's not very good, but she's still okay for a non-divine demon hero because she's a lot cheaper and just by playing in the season game mode you will get a lot of her for free, like from here and here. So you get her for free anyway, but I don't think she's that strong. And actually I think she belonged to the B tier more than she belonged to A tier. Yeah, she's not very good. And I don't see a lot of people use her as well. Yeah, so that's it for this tier list. Thank you for watching.